Dough to get the dough the right consistency, and these are the measuring spoons we need for the lemon juice and the anise oil, or the whatever oil you're using, and your salt. And this we use to sprinkle a little flour on the tray that we keep the dough on while we're working. And this we're going to use with the mixer to beat the eggs to and the powdered sugar. And all of this is just other stuff we'll be using to scrape the dough and stir it and put the baking powder into the flour, mix it up really well, and cookie sheets. And this is the extra flour we'll use, and we have the softest silk cake flour and 2 pounds of powdered sugar we'll need. And I have the baking powder, the salt, and the oil. Joyce Johnson's mother, Marguerite Knapp, she had a metal board, and he made her this off of Mrs. Knapp's board. He made this for Mom. Maybe I'll think of his name sometime, but don't count on it. And then this is the only antique board that I have, and I don't really know where it came from, but this one is definitely an antique. And then all of these boards were made by a gentleman from Belleville, Illinois. I believe he's retired now, or maybe even deceased, but he carved all of these boards, and there was a catalog that I had that I could order from him. And then this one I found in just a catalog that had kitchen things in it. And I needed one small board. When you're putting the boards down on the dough, you want to use as much space as you can. So this little one will make little cookies and save your dough. These are French fry cutters. That's what these are. And this is the pizza wheel. But you'll see how we use them as we do the work. Much lighter in
texture,
consistency.
See? Yeah. Look how beautiful that is. It just looks so light and creamy.
Yes. Okay. Now we're going to let that drip while we finish with our flour. But first we're going to put in the lemon juice and the oil.
Okay.
So.
And you just squeezed the lemon.
I squeezed the lemon and I sieved out the pulp. And I keep it in the freezer. It's just easy to have it in the freezer.
That's nice for when you need it.
Yeah. And it says 1 teaspoon of oil, and it has to be oil. It can't be flavoring. And a dram pours into a teaspoon, and it's exactly a teaspoon.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
So you want to put in a tablespoon of lemon juice and this oil and just drop it in there.
Okay.
Flour on the platter. Like that. Okay.
And that prevents it from sticking.
Mm-hmm. Now we're ready for the messy part.
Oh, good.
And we're done with this.
You mean I wasn't messy enough already?
Take this off. And we don't scrape any of that. We don't want that egg stuff in the... Take this. And we're going to dump it into here.
All right.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, I'd like to have you do that. That way the world can see.
Yes.
For years and years from now, this will be the template of how to do this. So we keep this tradition going. I'm just so excited to learn. Look at this. Perfectly scraped.
Oh, everything that you scrape in, you get another cookie.
That's right.
My mother was very frugal. Where did I put that? That spatula. There we go. Okay.
So look at how creamy and beautiful that batter is.
Yeah, and I don't know how those ladies did it without a mixer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My mother would have gotten more out of that, but I will quit. But as soon as you get this mixed in, you still need to mix in more flour, but there's no way you can stir it. So we'll do a different way to finish the dough. This we can stir. Dough. Okay.
I put flour on the counter, and then we're gonna get ready to put some of the dough.
I'm going to put all of it on there.
All of the dough. Wow.
Let's see if we can get more of that on. Like I said, my mom would have everything scraped super clean. I run out of oomph sometimes. So you take this,
Oh my goodness.
and you start putting it on the flour. You try to keep your hands clean. So if you touch anything, touch just the flour. And this is the easiest way to work the rest of the flour until you get the proper consistency of your dough. So you just touch the flour. Don't touch the sticky part of the dough, because you'll look like this if you do.
So we've transferred the dough from the counter to a floured plate.
Right, and we're going to cover it with wrap. And we're going to put it in the refrigerator until you get the entire kitchen cleaned up. Because when you're done making these cookies, you don't want to wash any dishes. You want to be done. Okay.
There she goes. And now we clean. All right, so we want to cover this as best we can. So we're only taking a portion of it. Right now it's been in the refrigerator while we did dishes.
Yes, and take about a third of it and
Oh, look
Sure,
how
and
it,
cover
yeah.
that part.
Look how it, the consistency of it now.
Yes. So now here is the most important part of all. This center part is the soft part that gives you the best picture. So you don't want to flatten it that way. You want to flatten it this way, only exposing the center of the dough. And you have to try to keep it loose on the counter. And this is what gives you the, it has to be flat with no, and see these edges get dry, and that's where you come in and don't get a nice picture on your cookie. So we're going to give it a little, because if it's sticky and you put the rolling pin on it, and you got a rolling pin full of dough. Okay, now we're coming out better here. Try to always keep it loose on the counter, or you can't get your cookie off the counter and put it on the cookie sheet. Okay, now it's getting sticky again. Keep it loose. You can always brush flour off the bottom of the cookie when we put it on the cookie sheet. Okay, now, gotta get it loose again. I spend way too much time doing this part. That's the only way I know how to do it.
It's the most important part though, so.
This isn't flat and smooth. See now right here, your cookie, your picture could have some little holes in it or something with when you got that like that. Okay. Just a little. Then we take this and we put it here and press it down. And see, it's sticky. It should lift right up, and it's not doing that because it's sticky. And you know what I should have done, and I didn't think about it. I should have done this. I'm out of so practice of doing this that I forget the important parts sometimes. Okay. Now let's see if we can do it without sticking so much. Not very good. So we're going to kind of have a crummy picture there a little bit, but this is like
But even what you call crummy, look how beautiful. But like you say, if the dough is just right, it'll just lift up.
It will, yes. Yes. This is a unusually damp day. Let's use this one here. This one has, I think, odd pictures on it. It's got a lily of the valley, which I think is beautiful, and right next to it is a snake. Why in the world would they do that? But that's what it is. So that's what we have. Okay, now let's see if we can get a better. Okay. Now see, we didn't get this so good here. I might not have the dough rolled out really evenly, but if I know that's the spot, sometimes I can go back and still not get a decent picture. Those things happen. And you see this here, this little church thing, it didn't come out very good either. So let's see if we can. Sometimes it's a mistake to try to put that back on there. Now he came out a little better.
He did.
Okay. And this is one of my favorite boards. It's got the nativity and an angel and a dove and a star.
That's beautiful.
Oops. That one came out pretty good. Somehow the baking powder knows to raise only up. It never raises out. That's a mystery to me. I don't know why that is, but they will raise up. They will not get any wider. Let's do this way. I try to get as many pictures as I can out of each rolling, because the more you roll the dough, the more flour you get in it. The more times you roll the dough. Okay, and then this one here. This one's more of a non-religious one. It's got a wreath and bells and holly and a tree and an ornament and a snowman. The tree has little candles on it that are kind of neat, if you can get them to come up. There, the little candles on the edges.
Beautiful.
And then this is when I use my little single guy here. Where did I put my, here. If you get dough stuck in there, it's good to get it out. This must have come from when I baked earlier this year. When you know you're done making them, then I take that and clean all of them out and put mineral oil on them.
I was going to ask about the care.
Yeah. So
That wood is precious. Oh, look at that.
And then let's see if we can get. One there. See, this is where you'll see where it's, if the dough is cracked, you get it cracked in your picture. Now let's cut this out, so because this little piece right here is kind of thick, and if I move it, I can get two more. It's time to put some flour on it. this dough is really sticky. Then I separate each one. And try to move them out of the way. See, I have it pretty much stuck to the counter, and that is not a good thing. I have to put more flour down next time. Okay. Then I take this bigger one. Now here is another very important thing to remember. As you cut off your scraps, you can't just leave them lay. They're going to dry out.
Okay.
Keep them in your hand and keep them warm. And that way they won't dry out. And I cut that top part off, and then I can cut a side. And a side. And I cut right down the middle on that one. Then I do, you have to be careful of your edges that you don't whack into the other guy.
What did you call the tool you're using?
It's a French fry cutter.
It's perfect.
This dough is so sticky. Usually it never sticks in your hand when you do that. This is not a very good demonstration of this dough. It's just too dang sticky. I should have put more flour in it, but it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to make a little extra work to work with it.
Well, that's kind of a good example of what could happen,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean,
When this happens, it's not the end of the world, but it complicates things a little.
mm-hmm. That's where expertise comes in, you know, so you kind of know how to handle
Yeah.
if the dough would be too wet or if it'd be too dry or
I haven't
what to
made
do.
much for years, and you do lose your touch, you really do. Cotton picking dough is sticking to me everywhere. Usually this is a pretty dry ball in your hand, and not today. Not when you want to show somebody how to do it. Okay, now we've got most of the big cuts done. Oops, I got some more here to do. These. Then I take the smaller thing
Oh, okay.
and make the smaller cuts.
How smart is that? Do you think St. Paul has always had like a big sale or cookie walk or whatever? You know, it might have been in the day.
Yes, when there were all these women's circles, the JOI circle and the Martha circle and the Corona circle, and then there was a representative from each circle that made up the Women's Fellowship Board. Well, then the Women's Fellowship Board would organize this bake sale, and it would be down in the church basement, and you were supposed to bring cookies, and you could buy whatever you wanted. Well, the first year my mom died, Emily Weberg was in charge of it. And Emily, very organized, now this we want to get here.
Okay.
And we want another piece of wrap. Because we want to keep it so it doesn't dry out. We'll take each third that's left over and then we roll that one last thing last. So the first year that my mom died, I thought, I'm going to make some Springerle and I'm going to take them to the bake sale. And I did. And I put them all, I worked so hard getting them all nice in the sack, looking just beautiful. And I took them to the church and Emily said, oh, these are nice. And she took the sack and she opened it and she dumped them in a big bowl. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, we sell cookies by the pound. We don't sell. I said, oh, okay. So I had worked myself silly getting what I thought was a wonderful treat. And it didn't work out that way. But that's how they sold cookies, was by the pound.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's more of like that cookie walk tradition, isn't it?
So I learned the next year when I did it, I didn't put them in sacks. I just took her plain cookies.
Look at that. Those are beautiful, Sandy.
But this is the reason why they cost so much at the bakery. Look at the time we've spent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But they're precious. And then from here we transfer them to the cookie sheet.
And we can put them very close together because they don't spread out.
This has been after 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We turn the pan so it can bake evenly, but look how much they've risen.
Mm-hmm. You can see this top crust, and there's the cake part down there.
Where's the top?
Now we'll give them 3 minutes, and then we'll test the bottom just to see if it's done. And to do that, we pull this out and we go in the center and we pick up a cookie, we turn it over, and it's not quite totally dry, so we'll put this back here and we'll leave it in 1 more minute.
Okay.
And then they will be done. 1 minute.
When do you think you made your first Springerle?
I might have been 30. Under Mother's tutelage.
Aw, that's good. And then you made them every year since?
No, I learned how to make them, but then I didn't make them, Mom did. And I never started making them myself until my mom died, which would have been 1995 maybe.
When you were growing up, were there a lot of people that made their different ones? Or like, could you...
No, they're of course my mom's aunts made them, and Mom didn't. But then when Mom started to try to make them, she couldn't do a very good job. But she knew a lady named Mrs. Nemo from the Grace Methodist Church, and she made Springerle, and Mom wanted to make them like her. So she called Mrs. Nemo, and Mrs. Nemo said, "You come into my house." And Mom was planning to stand there and watch her. And Mrs. Nemo put her to work and told her how to do it. And even said to her, "Now when you put the dough in the refrigerator, you leave it as long as it takes you to wash the dishes." That was the rules. And so Mom learned from Mrs. Nemo. And then from then on, she made them. She would make 40 batches at Christmas. She'd do that 40 different times. Sometimes she'd do 2 batches a day. And I could do 2 batches a day several years ago, but I don't anymore. I hardly do one.
Oh, this was a lot. This was good.